Finally, we're back. I'm so sorry on our hiatus we had. Just, life happens. Trevor was working super hard. We've all been really busy, but we made it back in time for game one, luckily. So our plan is to put,
Somehow.
yeah. And Trevor's not here today. Something came up, but he'll be back in the cut next week for sure. We're going to try to be able to put out more regular stuff like we usually do going forward throughout the season, but it was just not going to happen for us this off season, unfortunately. But you know what? We got a fresh season in front of us, and fall camp just wrapped up, and Texas plays Louisiana Monroe this week. Quinn Ewers is starting quarterback. So we got a lot to talk about that we haven't really talked about with y'all
Yeah.
yet. So thank y'all for being here. Hopefully y'all didn't unsubscribe from us, but we appreciate you coming back. And if you're new here, please subscribe. We're trying to get this count up, even though we haven't really been pulling our weight. We're definitely going to start doing that here in the future. So thank y'all, and hook 'em. Matt Madrid, tell me, man, we got football in like 2 days now. The Horns week 1 against Louisiana Monroe. We're gonna talk about Louisiana Monroe at the end of the video more so, and not really about them, more about Texas because ULM's nothing. But what are your thoughts just after fall camp and the hype train around Quinn Ewers and just everything big
Yeah.
picture about Texas?
So I feel like I don't know what it is about this fall, and I think it's maybe like finally removed from like COVID seasons and like really condensed seasons and real like special rules season. Like this feels like one of the first like football seasons where it's like pre-pandemic, and it kind of feels nice, and I can tell just like the rumblings on social media and everyone's attitude that like this is really anticipated football season. And obviously for Texas it's super anticipated. This is like the season that like, all right, this is truly Sark's first season. Last year that was a mulligan. We can lay out the excuses. Not his recruits, not his guys. Okay, his guys now. Okay. Um, yeah. Personally, personally, I think uh, I think we're in a good spot. However, since some of the news we've missed since we've gone is some of the injuries that has happened to us since there. Obviously, Isaiah Nair. Although we're blessed to say that like our wide receiver room is better than it used to be. So as much as that one hurts, I think we have enough talent to weather that storm. Where it really hurts though is the injury of Junior Angelau. That really, because I don't know. I feel like one of the main stories coming into this season was our good offense, but like our shaky O line, and so we need that to at least be solid this year for us to control games and dominate games like we want to. But other than that, Roshan had a little scare. He's fine. Banks had a little scared. He had a little scared. He's fine. I think the reason we've had uh, I think the reason why we're on pins and needles like this because of injuries is just because look, we got a Bama game week 2. Felt like most teams week 2 are getting another tune-up game in. We're going straight into the teeth of the monster right there. So like, you don't know. You gotta you know judge how hard you're going to go in practice. And I don't know. You could just tell by the sentiments by the coaches and everything that there's a heightened attention to detail early in the season and heightened aggression. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from the players and what they're saying and everything, but we'll see how that plays out. What do you got?
Right. So those are all valid points. And I do think, like injury wise, that aside from losing Nair, we came out of fall camp in a pretty good spot because I mean Junior Angulau, that one hurts too, but to put it nicely, he's a lot more replaceable than Isaiah Nair.
That's
Nayor.
fair.
Nayor was going to take the top off our offense and take it to the next level where you had Worthy and Nayor, it's threats outside with Bijan and Quinn in the backfield. So that one really stings, but Roshan's healthy, Jade Barron's back, Cole Hudson's back. And I feel like our O-line, all these young guns anyways, are going to be vying for those spots by the end of the year. So Junior would have been nice to have as like, that stable, leader and at center, because he was going to take over for Jake Majors, it sounded like. But aside from that, I think we're in a good spot. Hopefully, knock on wood, no injuries come up anytime soon. But yeah, every off season the past 10 years, it's been a lot of the same things that we hear. The team is more focused this year. They're
Yeah.
flying around. The defense is definitely communicating better. D line looks good. O line looks improved. I mean, O line, I actually do think will be improved, but you hear these talking points every year, and it's fall camp. It's like zero sum. So I'm sure there's some validity to it in some regards, but it doesn't matter till you get punched in the mouth. So I really have put an emphasis on not drinking the Kool-Aid this year, and y'all probably hear that throughout the video. I do like a lot of things that Sark's doing with his team. Getting bigger, these transfers that he's brought in. I think bringing in Quinn Ewers obviously is huge. So I'm looking at it that way. I'm trying to temper expectations, but also we went 5-7 last year, right? And you hear 5-7, you think, oh, Charlie Strong, hopeless, Sark's a fraud. But I will say the 5-7 last year felt entirely different than the 5-7 with Charlie Strong. With Charlie Strong, it was just literally like I said, hopeless. Like we were just hoping to look competitive out there, just to look like that we belong on the field against anybody. Last year, it felt like every game besides maybe Arkansas, we were winning in the second half. It doesn't matter who we were playing. If it was Baylor, which is basically a playoff team almost, OU, we were up in those games, and it was just kind of like, let's not blow it, and we'd blow it. So it was more of a snake bit feeling last year than an actual hopeless. This team has nothing going for them. So hopefully the mental fortitude of our team is better this year, because we were put it bluntly, we were really soft last year whenever adversity hit. And Stark's always talking about that in his press conferences about responding to adversity, and that's coach speak, but it's also very true. So hopefully we do improve in the second half of games and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to get at is we were 5-7 last year, but we were also very close to being 8-4, 9-3. And I know we've said that before in the past, but it's true. I mean, a little bit of improvement could go a long way with this team. And then if you factor in what we returned, like with Worthy and Bijan, we got superstars. I don't know about everything else around them, but we got superstars to build around. So I think a lot of the future of this team for the season depends on the defense, mainly the front seven, generating a pass rush. And hopefully Gary Patterson coming in can help with that. But at the end of the day, I feel like we still don't have the personnel yet at the in the front seven. So we'll see how the defense plays out. But I'm excited, man. I think this team could be surprisingly pretty good. Not like a playoff team or anything like that, but I think there's talent on this team, obviously, where I think the goal for us is to be like 2018 Oklahoma, or where they just score and score and score. Defense is going to get exposed a lot of the time, but it doesn't matter, because if Kyler and Marquise Brown, Kennedy Brooks have the ball, they're going to go score, and they're going to outscore most teams they play. So I think that should be kind of the model right now until we settle in with our defense, because even with the lackluster O-line last year, we put up a lot of points with Casey Thompson and Hudson Card. Now we think Quinn Ewers will be a big improvement over that. And then you still have the skill guys that Whittington, Worthy, Bijan. I think that the goal should be to outscore pretty much every team you play, and we'll see where that takes us. But I don't know. I'm not really bullish right now, but at the same time, the burnt orange Kool-Aid looks kind of nice. So I might take a couple sips here and there. So it's kind of a confused feeling as a fan, because it's year 13 of us just being bamboozled since Mac Brown, Colt McCoy got hurt. So something's got to give at some point, right?
I kind of liked what you said about like taking it easy this year, and I think we really should. However, the only reason I feel a little like I'm not about to pump you all with sunshine, don't worry, but I only feel a little better, especially since, like, in that comparison you made to the 5-7 Charlie Strong, is it feels like a reset at least, because I feel back then it didn't feel like a reset the next season, like at all. Like it didn't feel like we had something at least going for us a little bit. And I think those some of those silver linings you have to take from last year. Um, and you got to remember we're installing basically a new quarterback as well. Like as talented as Quinn is, like, and he is talented. Like there's gonna be hiccups. Like it's still his freshman year, basically. Like he's gonna screw up, but we have to live with that a little bit. I just think I just think that like 5-7 last year is like literally the floor. That is the floor, or like how bad it could get. And as in the improvements with the improvements we made this year, we'll definitely see a better team. And that's what makes me a little more hopeful and excited about what I'm about to see. Because look, like you said, it's not gonna be a playoff team, and it's gonna be vying for a Big 12 championship. Hopefully, it's gonna be in the mix down the run. Hopefully, but I think that's a good thing though. As long as we see this step by step growth under this regime, I think we'll be satisfied. I think Sark was the right hire to take us on that step by step approach instead of trying to get like a coach or a staff that would like take us 0 to 100 like real fast. I think it's important to let this, especially with this younger group, grow as well. So uh, aside from that, defense, the biggest question mark on my end. I was looking at the depth chart a little bit before we started talking. I was like, man, there's a lot of old faces on here that we've always been like, man, if they just figure that out, that'd be great. And I have a feeling that our defense legitimately would not be better until we get new recruits in. And I felt like, look, we got some nice 2023 recruits, Malik Muhammad, and Gillette. I mean, those are great pieces, right? But we need more than that. Right now, we're recruiting amazing on offense, and it's gonna stay that way, obviously. But to really turn around that side of the ball, it's gonna take a few recruiting classes just to get that right. Because I see a lot of hard workers. This is such a bad thing to say about your defense. I see a lot of hard workers on that defense, and a lot of guys that I wish were like studs by now, like Broughton, for example. But I think that will just come with time. So yeah, we're gonna be outscoring or doing our best to outscore everyone, and I think we, for the most part, can. So I think that's the one thing we'll hang our hat on this season.
Yeah, I agree with all that. But I mean, I'm excited about the new like speaking of recruiting, like a lot of the recruits that we brought in last year with that top 5 class are going to play. I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna have 5-star freshman Kelvin Banks starting at left tackle. I can't remember the last time we just started a freshman at left tackle for game 1.
Yeah.
So that speaks to how good he is and also to how bad our O-line was last year. So he'll be starting. And then Cole Hudson, a guy that most people didn't really think would factor in as a freshman. He was here in the spring. He's going to start at right guard, it seems like, which is another good development. And then you also got the other, you have eight blue chip freshmen here of O-linemen, and they're all in the mix too. I mean, Cam Williams is fighting for that right tackle spot, and Cam Williams, that guy, I'm saying, is going to be the best one of them all when it's all said and done. That guy's a freak of nature. Looks like an ogre out there. And then, there's a lot. Devin Campbell's waiting in the weeks too, DJ Campbell. So a lot to work with on the O-line going forward. It's just going to take a little bit of time because, you can't really win with freshman O-line. I mean, look at A&M last year. It's been talked about. They had a bunch of freshmen starting on their O-line last year, and it hurt at first. Like they took their lumps early in the season, but
yeah, absolutely.
Around Bama and later in the season, they started coming together and it started paying off. And now they got all these, sophomores that should be a really good O-line for them this year. So hopefully we have that same type of development, and hopefully Kelvin Banks can handle Will Anderson on the edge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But man, and then also
Minus that part, maybe.
you got like Savion Red and guys, Brendan Thompson, new faces on the offensive. I mean, a lot of hype around Savion Red, which I'll be honest, I never saw that coming out of high school.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was always like, that's a questionable take, but apparently he looks like a Devo Samuel clone. So, I mean, if he is, that's great. I'll take that. But and then Brendan Thompson, the speedster. So we're gonna need to get him the ball on sweeps and stuff like that. And Sark's so good at that, getting the speedsters the ball in the open field. So it'll be fun to watch him. I'm sure he'll have a couple explosive plays against ULM. And then defensively, a lot of new D linemen we brought in, but I don't really think, besides maybe Ethan Burke, which is surprising. Ethan Burke, the 6'7" dude from Westlake, that was a lax guy, flipped from Michigan. Apparently, he's like vying for a starting job. I'm sorry, on the edge, because I mean, he's not. The thing about him is like he's an athlete. He can move. He's huge. He can bend. He can play the position great. The thing is, when I said he's huge, I mean he's tall. He is not huge. He needs.
I was gonna say he's a little scrawny boy.
He needs like 100, not 100 pounds, but he needs a couple of years in the college weight room and nutrition before he can become like an actual NFL type player. But he's got that potential in him. It's just kind of surprising because he was a guy that definitely was a project, I thought. But the fact that he's good enough to, be in the two deep already speaks a lot to him. And then we also got Diamante Tucker Dorsey. I think that's Was it Dorsey Tucker? I don't know. He's supposed to be.
Yeah, go.
He's been like a good leader for us. Apparently, I mean that's what he was at James Madison. The FCS All-American linebacker. So I think that eventually he'll be starting for us, which should free up Overshone on the edge to wreak more havoc. Because when Overshone's on the edge, that's a good thing for us because it's going to be hard for anybody, running back, left tackle, tight end, to slow Overshone down off the edge. So hopefully that can solidify the LB room. And then obviously Jalen Ford's a guy that we've always heard great things about. We've always seen the flashes, but I want to see him actually take that next step and become a all Big 12 level player. I mean, he looks the part in the pads. So, I mean, this is the time for him to, step in and be that guy for us. Jahdae Barron's a guy that's been hyped up all off season as well. I mean, there was a rumor that Oregon tried to offer him like $250,000 to transfer to Oregon. So I don't know if that's true or not, but definitely a coveted guy, I would say, if that's any indication. And I mean, he'll probably be one of our best players in the secondary. But you got Ryan Watts now, the transfer from Ohio State at cornerback, who's long, which I love long corners. So hopefully you can factor in for us. But then the safeties, I'm still not sold on. I mean, Jaron Thompson and Anthony Cook. I mean, we've seen flashes with Anthony Cook, but Jaron Thompson's a guy that I think he needs to definitely take a few steps forward this year if our secondary is going to be improved. But here's the thing. Gary Patterson is now on our side. That has to count for something, because if you remember over the years watching Texas versus TCU, the one thing that was, just a given, and it made me so mad, was the TCU defensive backs are going to mug our receivers on every play until the refs just stop calling interferences because they can't call a flag on every play. So I'm hoping that we start doing that to opponents and, give them a taste of their own medicine, because man, that was so annoying. And it's smart. I mean, if we can't cover them, just interfere with them every play. And then eventually the ref will just be like, I'm not throwing that flag. I've thrown too many flags. So hopefully we see some, just the pests of like the TCU defenses over the years. Hopefully we get some of that action now with Coach Patterson in the fold. But I don't know, man, the defense, I'll be surprised if there's a big improvement, but to be fair, that was like one of the worst defenses in school history. Like you said about worst, like last season was the floor. So we should see some improvement. I mean, just logically, but
just like positive regression, like it has to. There's no way.
I just still see Keandre Coburn and Mora Ojimo, and like you said, the old names still here, and it's just like, what?
I know it's gonna,
right. But I mean, I would say there's a nice little runway to start the season off, but we don't have one because we got Bama in week 2. But ULM will be a good, pick me up game, get that confidence going. Yeah. But I just overall, my I'm just so hesitant to get hyped about this team. I will not let myself do it. But there are a lot of things to like I've been saying this whole video. So Terrence Brooks, another guy I forgot to mention, defensive back, one that we flipped on signing day from Ohio State. He's been making noise in fall camp too, and that's a guy I really liked out of high school. So hopefully we get to see him get on the field. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm just in wait and see mode on this season. No preseason Kool-Aid for me. And we're gonna go through our game predictions here in a minute. Just kind of lay it out what we expect to happen. So be ready for that. But anything else, Matt, you want to throw out there, get off your chest before we kind of move into, just overall like game predictions and season predictions and hot takes?
If I could just be excited about one thing this season, it's just the offense and the fact that Bijan is 222 pounds now. And that's, oh my God. We have an NFL running back there. So I think that's going to be really exciting to watch. I think this is going to be his best season yet. So, and it better be. It's the last one we have with him. Yeah, I'm excited about depth on offense and just seeing just being happy to know that we can move the ball. Like, I don't think that will be a problem, honestly, and I'll bank on that at least. So yeah.
Also, let's give a moment of silence or a moment of appreciation to Quinn Ewers finally getting his Texas Longhorn debut in a couple of days here in DKR. I mean, it's been a long
Long time
journey.
coming.
Yeah, literally. Think about it. I mean, he committed to Herman back in the peak of the pandemic, 2020, I believe. So
it's been a minute.
It's been the Quinn Ewers hype's been everywhere the last couple of years. He went to Ohio State, it died down, he came back. So now we finally get to see him play for us, and that's just so exciting. So that alone, gives me some hype for the season that I'm trying to, hold back from. But man, you're right. The offense, I mean, it's going to be good. I mean, it was good last year. We have one of the best play callers in all of college football on our side. We got one of the number one quarterback in all of the last two recruiting classes, 2022 and 2021, the ones that he reclassified to. So,
yeah.
And then Bijan, best running back in football. Xavier Worthy, top 3 receiver in football, I would say. So, I mean, there's a lot to like. It's just, is there the depth behind, we got the stars, like I said, but let's see how.
And the pieces fit around it.
Yeah, how the rest of the pieces fit in. So, but yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, last season in the Big 12, I think, reports coming out today that.
Yeah, they're forcing it, right?
Thank God, man. I'm tired of hanging out with these Baylors and TCUs. Just, and I know they beat us. They beat us like recently, and I get that. But also, just like, I've had enough.
I'm tired of being like, man, I can't wait to go to that Baylor game. Like, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go see Iowa State. Like, look, man, look, I get it, respect, you can beat us, but like, let's stop acting like you're the main attraction here, man. Like, I don't want to be excited when I'm buying tickets to be like, oh shit, I'm like, yeah, the Baylor game, like, yeah, that's the one we need to go to. Like, no.
Yeah, man, Kansas State's coming to Austin this weekend. It's going to be electric. Like, no. So, I mean, and that season's going to be so fun for us. Probably lose more games. Probably. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a tangent, but we play better against bigger brands all the time. Bigger games we seem to play better. So now we won't be the big game for everybody. It'll be kind of like every game's a big game. So kind of hopefully that'll help us when it comes to time to join the SEC. But yeah, man. So I expect a lot of hostile environments this season in the Big 12. So.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Madrid. Let's get right into it right now. Just tell me like the total record on the season you expect, wins and losses, season prediction.
So I got us. I have us. I don't even know if this is optimist. So I wanted to say 7-5, but like I kind of struggled to find the 5th loss. So I'm strongly predicting 8-4 for us. And I think that's a pretty reasonable ceiling. Look, I think we lose to Bama. I think we lose to Oklahoma State, Baylor, and OU. So, and I think that's perfectly reasonable. K-State kind of scared me a little bit, but then I was like, I don't believe in Adrian Martinez that much. So 8-4, and I think that's a pretty healthy expectation, and a solid bounce back year too. So yeah, 8-4 for me.
Okay, 8-4. I agree with 8-4. I think that's the number, and I think 8-4. I think that's good as long as it's not like a back-ended 8-4. Like we need to show progression throughout the year and end
Yeah,
strong. Like a loss to Baylor and a loss in the bowl would not be good at the end of the
no,
season. But I have us 8-4 also. I think we lose to Bama. I think we lose at Texas Tech. I just feel like that's going to be, Texas Tech
yeah,
has
that's
the
fair.
largest little brother syndrome I've seen out of a school in a while. So they're going to be fired up for that, and that's early in the year. So that's going to be very hostile. I think we'll lose there, and then I think at Kansas State's also a loss, and then probably like Oklahoma State. I'm looking at Oklahoma State, but I think
Oklahoma
there's a chance
State.
to go undefeated at home outside of Bama, which would be good. But then OU, I have us beating OU this year. I think.
I would love
I
nothing
mean,
more.
we need to beat OU. I don't care if we go 7-5, 6-6. If we beat
We
OU,
beat
like
OU, yeah.
that's a good thing on Sark because you can't go 0-2 against OU, especially after how you lost last year. So I've had enough time losing to OU. We're not going to lose to Dylan Gabriel. Lincoln Riley's gone. That school is
Yeah,
broke.
it's also Dylan Gabriel. Like, this is not a Heisman candidate, bro. Like, I've seen Dylan Gabriel at UCF, and it's just fine. It's fine for the American Conference or whatever. Or, yeah, I think it's American Conference. It's fine there. I'm tired of OU fans being like, "Watch out!" Like, stop. It's just a fine quarterback. There's a reason he transferred.
Exactly. So yeah, so we both have us at 8-4. We have different losses in different spots, but pretty much the same outlook on the season, except Madrid has us losing to OU. I have us beating OU. Trevor Stiff, the boy himself, he has us at 9-3. So he's drinking the Kool-Aid more than we are. He's got us losing to Bama and then rattling off a bunch of wins all the way to Kansas State, where we take a loss there. And that's on the road, but that includes us beating OU. So he says beating OU and then finishing the season with a loss at home against Baylor. So 9-3 losses to Bama, K-State, and Baylor, and that's the perfect. That's the dream for Texas, honestly.
That's the dream right there. Absolutely, that's a dream season right there.
Because that puts you at what, like only 2 losses in conference and the winner, and you beat OU and Oklahoma State. So you're probably in contention for the Big 12 title. You definitely are, like in the discussion. I don't know if you're actually going to make it, but that's where you want to be at if you're Texas. That's all you can ask for after 5-7 in year 2 of Sark, while he's still building the roster he wants. So hopefully Trevor's right on the money with that 9-3, and then with the 9-3 record, you're going to keep all these recruits and probably add some more big names. Because forgot to mention number 2 recruiting class in the country right now. So Sark and the boosters are doing well there. So thank y'all for doing that. But yeah, so 9-3, 8-4, 8-4. Madrid, give me your 4 playoff teams. I'm putting you on the spot. We didn't really talk about this beforehand.
Shit.
I'll go first.
You go first.
All right. So we're gonna just spit these out real quick, just so it's on record before the season starts. My 4 playoff teams. I got number 1 seed Bama, number 2 seed Ohio State, number 3 seed. I'm gonna go Clemson. It was between Clemson and Georgia.
Interesting.
And then number 4, the USC Trojans. I think they're gonna strike gold in year 1 with Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison, Lincoln Riley, and that PUE schedule. So and they play in that.
That's true. When you say Clemson, are you factoring in Klubnik being the starting quarterback or DJ?
No, I think it'll be a result of Klubnik taking over and being good for them. I don't think DJ will take them to the playoffs. If it's DJ all season, I don't think they'll make the playoffs.
Okay. On the fly, real quick, immediate Bama, Ohio State. I think those are easy 1-2 right there. I wasn't actually thinking about USC, but now that you make that case, like Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison in the Pac-12, like that's
Lincoln Riley.
That's automatically the best team there, and Lincoln Riley, and the best coach there. Like that's just a little too far for me. So yeah, I'll take them the 4 spot, and at 3, damn, that's tough.
was thinking Georgia or Michigan. One of
I was
those
about to
two.
say Georgia and Michigan. I'm gonna give it back to Georgia. I feel like we're in as long as there's a fourth playoff team in the immediate future, like we're gonna have two SEC teams. So like, yeah, give me Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, and USC.
Love it, love it. You know, more of the same, more of the same. But USC, a new face, that'd be nice to see.
Yeah, it would be.
All right, real quick, my Heisman. You know what? I'm just gonna do it because I don't care anymore. Bijan Robinson winning the Heisman,
Okay.
but we have to win like 8 or 9 games for that to
Yeah, I
happen.
was about to say we gotta be really fucking good.
But Bijan's keep him healthy. The O line's better. Like he was good with a bad O line. If he has a good O line now, it's gonna be game over. So Bijan wins the Heisman. I mean,
Give me CJ Stroud. I've been thinking about this all offseason. So I think that guy's so good at quarterback. Him and Bryce Young are two amazing prospects coming out in this next draft. So
for real. Yeah, I think Stroud's even better than Bryce Young. So I think that's definitely a safe bet there. All right, we got like 2 minutes left on this, Matt. So real quick, we're gonna touch ULM. They were not good last year. Let's be honest.
No, they were not. They
were trash. They fired Rich Rod, I believe, new coach. I think could be wrong. Don't really know, but we're favored by like 39 points, 37 last I saw. Do you think Texas covers that? Give me a score prediction and give me a Quinn Ewers stat line and maybe a hot take, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay. I don't think we covered 39 points. It's a shit ton of points. But I do think the score is like 45-21 around that area. I am down on the defense, so I expect them to at least score a few touchdowns on us. So that's why I think that 40-point spread, 39-point spread is a little off. Quinn Ewers goes for 270. No. Yeah, 275. Goes for 275 and 3 touchdowns.
I'll take that. As long as there's no interceptions, I'll take that.
No interceptions. I don't think. No. Maybe one. Actually, the way he's been passing in here, I've been winning here in camp, or our defense is that good. I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not. I'll give him one interception and a hot take. Brennan Thompson established himself as the second outside receiver. Is that a hot take? I don't know if that's a hot take.
That's a good take. I like that.
Okay.
That's hot. Very hot. All right. So for me, I think Texas wins 59-20. So I think we do cover barely. And I think we put up a lot of points. I think we score at will. We kind of pull the starters early, get ready for Bama. But I think Quinn Ewers looks electric in his debut. I think he puts up like 4 touchdowns, maybe 350 yards through the air. And I think he has a really clean day, and he just makes it look easy out there, like he tends to do. Bijan has a couple touchdowns, and I think Texas, feels good going into Bama. And then my hot take is Jatavion Sanders will be the best tight end that we've had since David Thomas, maybe better than David Thomas starting this season. So, all right, guys, that's it for us. Thank y'all for watching. We'll be back with more in the future, and let's have a good season, Madrid.
Let's do this.